Hello everybody, how's it going and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to do a few BMAT Biology Section 2 questions. I've already done some chemistry and some physics, so it's about time that we get to biology. I do hope that you've been finding these BMAT study with me videos very useful, and please do give this video a big thumbs up if you have, and subscribe if you're waiting for more. I'm also going to be releasing a few more interview preparation videos for this year, so make sure to watch out for those, and once again do subscribe so you know when they're released. Now, thank you to Medify for making this video possible. Their platform for BMAT revision is absolutely wonderful, particularly given that the BMAT is online this year. Doing Medify's online BMAT question bank is nothing but good practice. Anyway, let's crack open Medify and Notability so I can show you my working out, and let's get going with some biology questions. So I've opened up Medify. As you can see, I've been doing quite a few questions recently, as all of you should be doing. And let's quickly change the color of our pencil. So a section of one-strand DNA has a base sequence of this. Which of the following is correct? Okay, the other strand would include a CGA triplet. Well, for CGA, I need GCT. Yep, that's true. So one street. If adenine always binds the two hydrogen to a complementary base and guanine, then each of these triplets will have a total of 8 hydrogen bonds, or each of them. Well, 3, 3, 2, 8, 8, 8. Indeed, that is true actually, yep. mRNA sequence transcribed from this DNA sequence would contain 3 uracil bases, mRNA. So adenine will go to uracil, thymine will go to adenine. So no, only would contain 1. So it's 1 and 2 only. Fantastic, good work. Right, let's get going. Okay, it's a neuron. Which of the following labels are correct? So, number 2 is not the node of neuron V8, it's the axon hillock. So, it's 3 is node of neuron V8, yep. 4 is a Schwann cell, yep. So, it's actually 3. Good. Sensory cells act as, okay, gosh. Okay, this is going to be quite interesting. So, sensory cells act as a receptor, E, whereas motor cells act as an effector, I. One stimulus has been detected. Okay. Sorry, one stimulus has been detected. An action potential, an impulse travels up. A sensory neuron, an axon, okay, let's say an axon, and goes through a gap in the system called a synapse, G. From this, I'm just going to try and work out what it is. So EIJDG, okay, and go, okay, eventually it reaches CNS, and sends the impulse to a motor neuron, K, which has its nerve endings in an effector, I. So actually, or muscle or gland, so actually we KF, so it'll be this one. Cool. Bingo. That took a bit longer because there's a lot of information to process there, but as you saw, just take it step by step and you'll be fine. Okay, what's the so that's DNA. What's the sequence of its opposing strands? So it will be A, C, G, T, T, C, A, G, C. I'm getting lost there. G, T, T, A, C, C. Cool. So lendin ACC, which is that one. Therefore, that's going to be the right answer. So did you see that? Instead of going through all the options and just reading every single one from the start, I just looked at the last 3 and just went down the list, and lo and behold, only one of them had ACC at the end. It's a time-saving strategy doing that. I saved myself a good 20 seconds just finding the right answer. So, nice. The increase in frequency of one phenotype in a wild population of butterflies could be due to an advantageous mutation. Yep, so 1's correct. An increased reproductive success of individuals. Yep. 2, a change in the environment. Good. 3, 1, 2, and 3. Good. Nice. Whew. Which combinations of DNA could be present in a transgenic organism created with DNA engineering? Genetic engineering, okay. So I've actually seen this question before, so I know the answer. It's actually 1, 2, and 3. Because in genetic engineering, you can, like, as long as you're putting DNA into DNA, that always works. But if it said, like, I don't know, inserting RNA into DNA, that wouldn't work, of course, because RNA and DNA have different structure. But if it did say taking RNA, converting it into, DNA with like reverse transcriptase, and then implanting it in, that could work. But all of these are correct. Cool. Like I said, I've seen this question before, so I knew the answer there. Yikes, okay. Let's just read the question quickly. Right, an organism is heterozygous for 2 genes, okay, AA. 2 genes make up, okay. For one gene, S is the dominant, okay, great, TT. Assuming there's no mutation at the end of mitotic division producing 2 cells, which row is possible? Okay, I need to think about this, gosh. This is quite a wordy question. So in the exam, since it's it requires a bit of processing, I wouldn't actually do this question right now if it was the exam. I'd actually come back to it later, simply because there's just too much reading and too much information to sift through to get to the right answer. So yeah, just be aware. So to be fair, you'll get S, 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 T, 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 T. Okay, because it's heterozygous, so everything will be doubled. So Ali was present. Well, actually be one of 4 to 7, because all of them will contain these genes. I think it will be that one, row. Could be row 6 and 7, to be fair. Yeah. Oh, that was correct. Just for the record, that was correct, actually. Red flowers have the genotype RR, and the white ones have genotype small r. Great, nice. You crossbreed. Okay, so if you crossbreed this, then all of them will be heterozygous. Then you breed the offspring, yikes, from the first cross, okay? So then if you breed the offspring, it'll be R, 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 R. So you get big R, small r, big R, small r, small r, small r. What ratio of phenotypes would you expect? So you'd expect 75% red and 25% white. Cool, that's the one. Nice. A brown dog and a white dog give birth to a black puppy. Okay, if the color of the dog's fur is governed by 2 genes, consider the following explanations. It doesn't say what gender the puppy is, so I can't talk about X or Y chromosomes here. I think both parents would have been... Well, it says 2 pairs of genes, so... It wouldn't be B, because if it was one sort of gene, it might just be this. I'm just going to go with that, to be fair. Okay, right, that's the answer. If a trait isn't exhibited, but the offspring gets it, it must be a recessive trait of some sort. So just given that, that was my answer, and that seemed to be correct. Nice. I'm not going to argue with that. Okay, transgenic. Why are there so many genetic questions? Gosh, as in genetic questions are hard, so it is quite good that I'm getting loads of genetic questions, but gosh, there's so many. It'll be B or C at the beginning, then you want E, then you want A, then you want D. So end with EAD. I don't know, recombinance when it's already been done, so it'll be C, D. A. Think of that one. Ah, no. Okay, so it ends in C and D. So isolate the required gene using the okay, great, just cut it out. Then use the same enzyme to create the sticky ends. Then mix, then identify, then inject. Okay. Sorry. A semi-permeable fluid-filled sac is placed in a container of water. 30 minutes later, the sac has increased to 1/3 of its original size. So, that's water. So clearly that's increase in size. So that had a lower water potential than this one. It wasn't isotonic. It wasn't hypertonic. Hypotonic means... Oh gosh, I think it's hypertonic. Hypertonic is when you have more solute than, I think, water. Yeah. Hypertonic is a higher osmotic pressure, thus lower water concentration than a particular fluid. Yeah, good. Because the inside clearly had a lower water concentration. That's why via osmosis water has gone into the bag, and hence the bag has gained in size and weight. Which of the following statements about stem cell technologies is true? Adult cell they can't give any rise to any type. One of the key is immune rejection. Okay, might be. Adult stem cells have greater capacity than embryonic. No, embryonic have greater capacity, but then they're ethically, questionable. Stem cell therapies are routinely used to replace cells in conditions which have been destroyed. Type 1, no, they're not routinely used in type 1 diabetes. Not yet, anyway. I think it must be B. Cool, that's correct. Nice. Skipping through the questions. Okay, high carbon dioxide. So generally, high carbon dioxide will be found in, the renal vein possibly, or I'd say the pulmonary artery, because that's going to, actually, the pulmonary artery would have pretty high there. Urea, the renal vein wouldn't necessarily have high urea, because the urea is filtered out of the kidneys. So it'll actually be row 2, I think. Pulmonary artery, because that's going from the right ventricle to the lung to have its carbon dioxide removed, and the renal artery is going towards the kidney, and so that's pre-filtration, that's going to have a lot of urea. So the answer is row 2, and that's definitely going to be correct. Woohoo, that's correct, nice. Ah, lovely. Right, which of the examples of homeostasis do not require the brain to be involved in the control process? So do not require blood gas levels, fluid and electrolyte balance. Well, the hypothalamus kind of looks after all of that. Regulation of blood glucose, yeah. 3 doesn't need the brain. The blood gas levels. The brainstem does control the respiratory rate, but you do have baroreceptors and chemoreceptors in the carotid artery. So technically, the fluid and electrolyte balance. Fluid balance and electrolyte balance is usually sorted by the kidneys. So 2 and 3, I think. 1. The brain, I think, does have the hypothalamus, which is very sensitive to gases, so I think it might be 2 and 3. No, it's 3 only. Oopsie daisy. Okay. Is it because of maybe fluid balance is detected by chemoreceptors in the hypothalamus? Hypothalamus is crucial to osmoregulation. Okay. Blood gas levels are okay in the respiratory center in the medulla. Knew it. So it's just option 3, which is by the pancreas. Which one of the following is not true of human hormones? They are released via ducts. They can be. Not always, though. Hormone may affect one or more structures in the body. Well, that's true. The structure in the body may be affected by one or more hormones. That's true. They're all chemicals. That's true. What else are going to be? Some, such as testosterone, can be steroids. As in, testosterone is definitely a steroid, and I think estrogen, given that testosterone and estrogen are of similar, sexual hormones, they must be of similar types. I'm going to go with, they're all released via ducts. Because sometimes Sometimes organs can release hormones directly into the blood, just permeating through the vessel wall. So, yeah. During gamete production in both males and females, diploid cells undergo meiosis. Yeah, good. So 4N goes to 2N, which then goes to N. DNA content of the diploid cells doubles before the start of meiosis 1. Two is wrong. Three is correct. I think 1 and 3 only. Yep, that's correct. Because, the DNA content of a diploid cell does double from 2N to 4N. Then it divides down into 4 gametes, each with N number of chromosomes in there. Compared to the original diploid cell, which had 2 N chromosomes, the final gamete only has N chromosomes, because remember, 2 gametes combine to form a new cell, which is then 2N. And then the third one, of course, is correct. Because, the total number is, of course, greater, because 2N initially doubled to 4N, and that's just been split apart into different cells. Nice. Okay, an X-linked dominant condition is passed down through the family. Individual Q inherits a condition. For this family, which of the following statements must be correct, assuming no spontaneous mutations? Okay, so if Q is male, so he'll have X, let's say small h is, big H. So if he had that, he must have inherited the dominant allele from his father. No, because he could have got it from his mother as well. Because his father would have given him the Y. If Q is male, one of his mother's parents must have also had the condition, because a mother would have got it from, or the father. Yeah, that's true. 2 is true. If Q is female, so that should be X. Or both her parents must have had the allele. But not necessarily. Her father may not have needed the allele, just one of the parents would have needed it. Because remember, it's dominant. So she only needs one of the copies for it to express. If Q is male and has children, okay, so let's say it's X, H, Y, all of his daughters will have the condition. That's true, because if he has a son, he will only give the Y to the son, and to the daughters he'll give his infected H. And so it's actually 2 and 4, which are correct. Woohoo! Correct. Right, let's just do the final few, then we'll call it a day. Which one of the following statements is correct when the ventricular ejection phase of a healthy heart is at its peak? So ventricular ejection is when the ventricles contract, forcing blood into the aorta, but also the pulmonary artery on the other side, on the right side. The atrioventricular valves will be open. Yeah, cool. That's correct. No, they won't. Atrioventricular valves are from the atrium to the ventricle. That's wrong. The heart will be in atrial systole. No, it won't be. The heart will be in ventricular diastole. No, it won't be. The atria of the heart will be filling. Might be the case. The semilunar valves will be closed. No, it must be B. B is the only correct one out of all of them. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean it was A. A is ridiculous. That's completely wrong. Which correctly outlines what happens when somebody has too much water in their blood. So yes, it's detected by the hypothalamus. We just learned that. We made a mistake earlier. Antidiuretic hormone. So diuresis means to pee. So antidiuretic hormone will cause you to retain water. So actually, we'll have, if they've got too much water, you'd want to decrease the antidiuretic secretion. So it will be hypothalamus, then decrease ADH, then you resorb less water, and you have dilute urine. That's got to be the one. No, this is the one, because it starts with the hypothalamus. Correct. Perfect. Nice. Let's just do one more, actually. I like these questions. In which of the following organelles do carbohydrates play a relevant role? Good question. It's mitochondria and chloroplasts. In the Golgi apparatus, I wouldn't say carbohydrates necessarily. I know that's where you get the packaging up and the formation of vesicles. So I'm going to say 1 and 3. Not sure the Golgi apparatus. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, fine. Because the Golgi, I think they add on carbohydrates. Fair enough. I had a sort of inkling and idea there. So yeah, in the Golgi apparatus, it turns out that you add carbohydrates to proteins as well, and then you form vesicles. So some mistake there. We were close. So these mistakes I'm making, if you were to be actually revising, like a lot of you are, I'd write them down on a piece of paper and just make sure I read that piece of paper every single evening, and the paper will get longer and longer as you make more mistakes. But then actually you're going to be learning these facts and making sure that you know them ahead of the exam so you don't make mistakes. Which of the components of DNA listed below are found on the inside of a DNA double helix? On the inside of a double helix. So you have the purine and pyrimidine bases. The sugar phosphate backbone is on the outside, so just be 3 and 4 on the inside of the DNA helix. Nice. Let's just do one more. We're doing one more. An increase in adrenaline levels causes an increase in which of the following? Heart rate, yes. Blood flow to skeletal muscles, yes. Blood flow to digestive tract, no. So 1 and 2 only. Because think about it, if you're releasing adrenaline, the point of it is fight or flight, the fight mode. So you want all your blood going to the muscles, to your heart. You want the blood to go to the muscles and give them oxygen and glucose so you can run away from that lion or whatever. You don't want it to go to the digestive tract. So yeah, that's the answer. Great. Okay, one more. Which of the following statements refer to a solution that can lower the pH in the gastrointestinal tract of a healthy human? That can lower the pH. So low pH equals increased acid. So produce in the stomach, yes. Produce in the pancreas, no. Talk about the gallbladder, no. So just 2 only. Cool, great. Right. If the question actually was if it can raise the pH, which means become more alkaline, then it might be bile from the gallbladder made by the liver, but also maybe some digestive juices made in the pancreas as well. So yeah, cool. Lovely. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it very helpful. If you did, then please give this video a massive thumbs up. I did quite a few questions today because I just like biology, and I think biology is a bit easier than the other sciences for the BMAT anyway. As always, thank you so much to Medify for making this video possible. And if you haven't yet followed me on Instagram, then please do. And also watch out for I've got another video coming up as to how you can best prepare for the online BMAT and the special online format this year. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Cheerio.